Good morning, my dear students and viewers. I welcome you to my today's lecture on the use of prepositions. Today I want to discuss the prepositions of place. In my last class, I showed you the classification of prepositions, and the first one is the prepositions of place. And now I want to discuss what are the prepositions of place and how they are used. And let me show you on the whiteboard. Please look at the whiteboard. The first one is on. When on is used, on is used when something is on some surface. Suppose this is a pen. If I say there is a pen on my hand, so this pen is touched on my hand, that is on the surface of my hand. Another example, the cat sat on the table, that is the cat is on the table. The cat is in touched condition on the surface. So when there is something on some surface, we use on. Then onto. Sometimes you are confused. What is the difference between on and onto? Onto is used when there is a change from one level to another level. As for example, he is climbing on to the, look at onto the roof. Try to understand, someone is climbing, okay, and from one level he is rising to another level. There is a movement or motion. So when we use on, it means something is fixed on some surface. But when we use onto, it means a motion from one level to another level. So he is climbing onto the roof. But if I say a bird is dash the roof, a bird is on the roof, but a boy is climbing onto the roof. So there is a difference. Now over. Over is used to mean that there is something on the top of another thing. As for example, if I say there is a fan over my head, and you can see this is my head and there is a fan over my head. By this it means that the fan is at the top of my head and it is not touched on my head. The example, the fan is moving over my head. It is not on. It is wrong. The fan is moving on my head. This is wrong. The right one, the fan is moving over my head. Over is also used. Is also used to mean that something is passing over something. For example, a cat jumped over the wall. A cat jumped over the wall, not on the wall. That is the cat passing over the wall, and there is a vacuum between the wall and the cat while it is jumping. So you should understand the difference between on and over, on and onto. Then above. Above is used to mean that something is higher than another. Something is higher than another. For example, the temple is above the hill. Think we are at the ground of the hill, right? And there is the hill, and above the hill there is a temple. So when we say something far over, suppose a plane flies over the roof, okay? The plane is flying above the sky, above the sky. So above is used to mean something higher than another. Try to understand. If I say in Bangla, on মানে হচ্ছে উপরে, on to মানেও উপরে, উপরের দিকে, over মানে উপরে, above মানে উপরে. Even when we say upon, upon বলতেও কিন্তু উপরে বোঝায়, but how? Upon is used to indicate that something being above and in contact with another. You can't understand the use of preposition alone, separately. You have to understand the use of preposition with the surrounding words and phrases. How is the preposition connected with the surrounding words and phrases? And only then you can understand the use of preposition clearly. Look, I met a man upon the stair. There is a stair and the man is upon the stair. Not the man is over the stair, upon the stair. That is, there is in contact with something at the higher point, higher level. And you can understand upon if we compare it with below. Okay? There is a man below the stair, below the stair. But another man stands upon the stairs. So there is a difference between upon and on or over or above. Then another of. In Bangla it is meant upore, but here is also a difference. Up is used to indicate some direction, as for example, he is walking up the road. He is walking up the road, that is, the man is going to some direction, following some direction. So when some direction or destination is indicated, we use up. He is walking up and down the street. Another example, up and down the street. Street is the noun. Both up and down are prepositions. So this is a kind of confusion, and it is said that all these are the gray areas of preposition. Gray areas means confused areas, and we are confused when we see the same kind of use of prepositions. And you have to understand this difficult difference, and only then you can write or use preposition correctly. Again, on is used when something is attached or touched on some surface. Want to means motion or movement. When someone or something is changing from one level to a higher level, we use on to. On is touched and fixed, but on to is in movement. Over, there is something at the top of another thing, and there is a vacuum, শূন্যতা থাকবে। দুটো জিনিসের মধ্যে যখন শূন্যতা থাকবে, আনটাচড অবস্থায় থাকবে, তখন আমরা ওভার ইউজ করব। Above, when something is far over another thing. The plane is flying above in the sky. And see the difference, over and above. Upon, I met a man upon the stair. I met another man below the stair. See the difference, below and upon. Upon is used also in another abstract sense, such as consciousness is dawning upon him. In Bangla, consciousness, সচেতনতা is dawning, আসছে, upon him, তার উপরে সচেতনতা আস্তে আস্তে আসছে, প্রতিভাত হচ্ছে। সো আপন অ্যাবস্ট্রাক্ট সেন্সও ব্যবহৃত হতে পারে। অলরাইট, নাও I want to discuss some other prepositions. At and in. We use at before a place smaller in size than the other, and we use in before a larger place with larger space. As for example, I live at Ajimpur in Dhaka. Before Ajimpur, I use at, but before Dhaka, I use in. So, অপেক্ষাকৃত ছোট জায়গার আগে আমরা অ্যাড বসাচ্ছি এবং অপেক্ষাকৃত বড় স্পেস নিয়ে যে জায়গাটি আছে সেখানে আমরা ইন বসাচ্ছি। Is it clear? Now, in and into. When we use in, if something is inside of another thing, as for example, see this container, there is some water in the container. So, if something is inside of another thing, we use in, okay? But into, when there is a movement or motion, something, suppose something or someone is falling into some place or into some location, whatever. As for example, if I say I am pouring sanitizer into the bottle, so this is a motion, okay? There is water in the bottle, but I am pouring some sanitizer into the bottle. So, when there is some motion or movement, we use into. Another example, I can see a boy in the lake. Look at in. I can see a boy in the lake. That is, he is just in the lake, not in motion. But if I say a boy jumped into the lake, this is not the still position. The boy is jumping into the lake. So, there is a movement or motion. Now, another example, to and towards. We use to before a place or location to indicate destination. যখন কোনো জায়গা বা কোনো লোকেশনের দিকে গতি থাকে, যাওয়া বোঝায়, মুভ করা বোঝায়, তখন আমরা টু বসাই। যেমন I am going to DU, that is Dhaka University. I am going to Dhaka University. So, I am on the movement towards some destination. When we use towards, this is a specific. When the location or destination is specific, then we use to. But when the location or destination is not specific, we use towards. That is, I am going towards due. This towards means that I am not going to Dhaka University specifically or definitely. I can go just think Sohrawardi Udyan maybe, or Doyal Chottor maybe, or just Nilkhet. So when I say I am going towards Dhaka University, it means that I may go around any place of Dhaka University, adjacent to Dhaka University. But when we say I am going to Dhaka University, it means definitely to the specific university, not some other location or destination adjacent to Dhaka University. So there is a difference between to and towards. Another confusion. Under, below. Beneath, underneath, under, below, beneath, underneath. All these prepositions almost are the same, in meaning. But my dear students and viewers, there is subtle difference. Okay, and let me discuss. When we say under, it means that there is something or someone directly under some surface. As for example, the dog is sleeping under the tree, or under the table. So the dog is just directly under the surface of the table. In this case, we use under. Then, when do you use below? In Bangla, it also means niche. But there is a difference. When below is used, it means that there is some connection with some other thing. As for example, he is living below the mountain. Look at below. He is living below the mountain. That is, suppose this is the mountain, and this is the ground. So he is living below the mountain, means there is some level. It is not, if I see he is living under the mountain, it means this is the mountain and here he is living. তাহলে কি করতে হবে? পাহাড়টা খুঁড়তে হবে, খুঁড়ে পাহাড়ের নিচেই ঢুকতে হবে যদি তোমরা আন্ডার ব্যবহার করতে চাও। যে লোকটি পাহাড়ের নিচে বাস করে, অর্থাৎ পাহাড় খুঁড়ে তার নিচে গিয়ে সে বসবাস করছে, তা বুঝাবে যদি আন্ডার বসাও। আর বিলো বসালে কি হবে? সে পাহাড়ের পাদদেশে, পাহাড়ের ঢাল যে নিচু জায়গাটা, সেখানে সে বসবাস করছে। He is standing below the stair. He is standing below the stair. It means সিঁড়িটা নেমে আসছে, তার নিচে সে আছে। আর আন্ডার বসালে যে সিঁড়ি, তার নিচে যেতে হবে। So there is a difference between below and under. Below is also used in some other cases such as rank, position, status, etc. As for example, my friend is below my status. Status. Or the girl doesn't want to do any job below her standard. Many people of Bangladesh live below the poverty line, not under the poverty line. So in abstract sense, below is also used to mean some position or rank indicating below. Now beneath. Beneath is used just like under, but there is a difference between under and beneath. Beneath is very much formal. Okay, it is not used usually in spoken English. Under is most common and commonly used, but beneath is used only formally. Okay, as for example, if I say my daughter is sleeping beneath her blanket. Beneath her blanket. So under and beneath are almost the same. The main difference is that one is frequently used, informally used, but beneath is used only formally. I want to show you some slide after some times. Okay, underneath. When underneath is used, underneath is used when it is meant that something is covered under another thing. Underneath is used. As for example, the old man puts on a sweater underneath his overcoat. That is, the old man has already put his overcoat, but it is very cold. So, he puts on a sweater underneath his overcoat. So when something is covered by something else, we use underneath. Am I clear? beside and besides. Both are used as preposition. Now, how do they differ? Beside means by the side of, whereas this besides means in addition to. As for example, he stood beside the door. Beside, that is next to the door, but he has a car besides a motorcycle. Look, this besides. He has a car besides a motorbike. Both are here prepositions, but they are the different use. Between, among, amongst. Between is used for two, for two things or persons. Among is used for more than two. As for example, divide the mangoes between the two boys. Here we use between. Okay? When we mean only the two persons or two things, we use between. But more than two, I am happy to be among my students. Look, I am happy to be among my students. Here, students are more than two. Some students or many students, more than two. Now, amongst is usually used to mean for more than two, but literary use. Usually in literature, in poetry, amongst is often used. As for example, I am happy to be amongst let me change the sentence. He is happy to be amongst us. Look at us. Here is a difference. Amongst is usually used followed by a word beginning with a vowel. Us, that is a vowel. So first, amongst is used usually in literature. Number one. Number two, it has a special use, followed by a word beginning with a vowel. He is happy to be amongst us. My dear students and viewers, so far I have tried to make you understand some gray areas of using prepositions of place. By gray areas, I mean some areas which are confusing and unclear to us. Okay? Now, I want to show you some very simple and common use of prepositions through slide. Please see the slide. স্লাইডটা একটু বড় করো, আমাকে একটু তেমনটা করার দরকার নাই। I have just showing you some. I am showing you some prepositions. At first, in is used for country, city, neighborhood, as well as some enclosed space. See the first one, in Bangladesh, in India, in China. So when we mean any country, we use in before it. Then when you want to mean any city, either Dhaka or Bombay or Paris or London, we use in. My friend is living in London, right? We also use in to mean some neighborhood. As far as Manhattan, he is living in Manhattan. My relative lives in Bangla town. So when we mean some neighborhood, we use in. And then at last, in some enclosed space or container or thing, we use in. Suppose inside a building, I am now in Dhaka College. By this, I mean that I am inside of the building. Okay? Then in a car, he is now in a car. That is, there is enclosed space inside the car. So he is in the car. Right? So see the next one, use of on. On is used to indicate some transports, on train, on bus, As for example, he gets dash train. He gets on train, on bus. Okay? We also use on when we indicate some communications or devices or machines, such as, now I am on computer. He is now on TV. So he is now on phone. When we use all these devices or communications, we use on. Then avenue. As for example, he lives on 5th Avenue of New York City. 5th Avenue. 7th Avenue. If we mean avenue, we have to use on before it. Then street. When we mean any street, we use on before that street. As for example, Fuller Road. We have to say on Fuller Road. On New Scotland Road. So when we mean any street or road, we use usually on. But if we use address, then we use at. Be careful. When we mean any street or road, we use on. But I have already mentioned that on is used also to mean something on some surface, attached on the table, on the desk, on the floor. Okay, so on is used to mean something on some surface, attached or fixed. Right? See the next slide. Use of at. When we use at, when we mean some address, we use at. As for example, at 32 ধানমন্ডি অর্থাৎ 32 নম্বর ধানমন্ডি address we use at 11 Down Street. I live at 63 Pilkhana Road. So when I mean an address, we have to use at. Be careful. I have used also on before I street when it doesn't mean address. There is a shopping mall on the street, on the Scotland Road. It is not the address. But when I say my father lives at 23 New Scotland, at. So there is difference between on and at. Don't make confusion. Then a specific location or point. If we mean any specific location or point, we use at. He is at the office. I will stay at home. Okay? The chair is at the corner of the room. At the corner of the room. So when we mean some specific space or point, we use at. All right. Now by. By means next to some place. As for example, keep the bag by the door. She stands by the window. That is next. She is by the car. That is, she is close or near to the car. So by is used to mean next or close or near. Am I clear? My dear students, today I have discussed mainly some prepositions used before a place. All these prepositions are called the prepositions of place. In my next class, I will continue preposition, but the prepositions of time, some prepositions are used to indicate time. It is also very much important to know the use of prepositions before time. Okay? My students, I want to focus on some questions that you put into your comment box. Okay? Every day I shall talk to you from your commentary box. Today just I want to point only one thing. A student asked me the importance of the classification of verb in HSC level. Thank you for your question. But you know that the importance of oxygen. If anybody asks me the importance of oxygen, in fact, every moment we are inhaling oxygen for our survival, but we can't understand, we forget that we are inhaling oxygen every moment and exhaling carbon dioxide. But we don't feel and we forget the importance of oxygen. In the same way, if you want to make a sentence, you must have to know verb. Verb is just the heart of a sentence. We have heart within us, but we forget the existence of heart. We feel the existence of our hand, our head, our eyes, our legs. All these are frequently used by us. So we feel the importance, but heart inside us is working continuously. In the same way, verb, without verb, you can make no sentence. You can say nothing in English without verb. So verb is a must. And to know verb, you must know the classification of verbs. It is directly or indirectly related to almost all grammatical factors. If you want to know tense, you must know verb. If you want to know voice sense, you must know the verb. If you want to do narration, you must know the verb. If you want to learn the use of right form of verbs, you must know the use of verb. In fact, there is nothing in grammar without verb. So the classification of verb is a must in English grammar. My dear students, in the next class, in each class, I shall focus on the fixed topic at first, and I shall keep some time to discuss your questions collected from your commentary box. My dear students, thank you all the best. See you next.